let me start announcements for the Scotch Order of Merit for the first session. And the first Order of Merit goes to Mr. G. Neban, Additional Director from Agriculture Department, Government of West Bengal, Farm Mechanization, West Bengal Experiences, and Networking of Custom Hiring Centers. Do we have Mr. Neban with us? Move on to the next and invite Dr. Sundar Balakrishna, CEO, Andhra Pradesh Information Technology Academy for Apita Academic Resources Center. Dr. Sundar. Professor H. Reddy Konireddy, Chairman, Andhra Pradesh State Council of Higher Education, Design and Development of Online Teaching and Learning System, a Toolkit. Mr. Reddy. Mr. K. Kanna Babu, Managing Director from Andhra Pradesh State Disaster Management Authority, Heat Wave Prediction and Mitigation. Mr. N. Bangara Raju, Executive Director from Andhra Pradesh State Skill Development Corporation for upscaling skill development process through e-learning methods. Loan interest reimbursement scheme. Anna Saheb Patil Arthik Magas Vikas Mahamandal Maryadit Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Department, Government of Maharashtra. Managing Director, Mr. Anil Patil. Mr. Patil, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Mr. Patil, would you like to tell us in brief as to, what this loan interest reimbursement scheme is all about and how it has helped?
Sure. Good morning, all. Government of Maharashtra has started this scheme by which people who are having lower income, that be below 8 lakh annual income, and want to do the business and have a position of funds, they can approach the banks for the funds. And after getting loan from the banks, and if they reimburse, if they repay all the installments regularly, we reimburse the interest part to those people. So by which we can help the people who are needy for the funds, and banks are also happy that they are paying regularly, and it's a win-win situation for both, for the government as well as the beneficiaries as well as the banks. So by doing this, we are doing that migration of the people from rural to city or urban area is halted or stopped. Around 35,000 people are getting benefit of this, and around 160 crores has been reimbursed till date. This is the scheme for people who are having less income, that is less than 8 lakhs per annum.
So how long it's been going on? I mean, how old?
So for last 3 years, we are doing this business. For last 3 years, we are doing this scheme, and this continued with the government support. And government is getting money which is required for us, and we are reimbursing the amount. Whenever they repay, we will reimburse that.
Wonderful.
So people who are needy and who are willing to do business, who are true beneficiaries, they get the benefited. Only those people will get benefited who are repaying regularly.
Excellent. Well, wonderful.
Yeah.
And congratulations to you and the entire team.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. With this, we move on to the next. Dr. Ravindra Kumar Sohane, Vice Chancellor, Bihar Agriculture University, Sabor, for livelihood diversification and capacity building of tribal communities in the aspirational districts of Bihar. Dr. Sohane.
Thank you, Scotch Group, for choosing Bihar Agriculture University for this important topic. I would like to, Dr. Patil, please brief about the project.
So, sir, actually, we have worked in the tribal villages, the villages where most of the households were belonging to tribal communities, and We have conducted work in the Banka as well as Purnia and Katihar districts of Bihar, where we found that earlier there was poor land use efficiency, household income was low, as well as productivity of field crops as well as livestock animals was very poor. And we conducted many of the interventions, like we replaced previously used obsolete varieties with new varieties. We introduced new cropping system, as a result of which rice productivity has increased by more than 30%, as well as cropping intensity has been increased by 33%. So we are able to increase the profitability of crop production system from 31,000 rupees per year to 40,000 per year. That means just by replacement of technologies and farming practices, we were able to increase the farm household income by rupees 9,000. In addition to that, in order to not only we have worked towards increasing farm household income, we have also worked towards enhancing the nutritional security of tribal households. Along with that, in order to increase the employment generation abilities as well as to diversify their income sources, we introduced low input based activities like beekeeping, mushroom cultivation, kitchen gardening. As a result of these activities, now in the tribal households, the consumption of protein sources like milk, meat and egg has increased. Consumption of fruits, vegetables as well as milk based product has also increased. This has not only increased the income of the farming community, but it has also contributed towards enhancing the nutritional security of tribal households. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. I mean, looking at the way you're taking care of livelihoods and the nutritional requirements of the tribal belts and the tribal communities, how long has this project been going on? And have you?
This project is being implemented since 2017. And for the last 4 years, it is being implemented, sir.
And have you done any assessment on how the health and the the economic status of the families have improved?
Yes, sir. That's what we were told, sir. We were able to increase the income of farming families from 31,000 to 40,000, sir, just in area of crop production, through crop production. Beside crop production, we also observed that after implementation of this project, now farmers, the rural households are having availability of fruits, vegetables, meat and egg throughout the year at their own household. They need not buy these things from outside. So beyond just monetary benefit, this has also contributed indirectly through increasing availability of source of nutrition at household levels.
All right, great. Thank you very much for joining us and sharing your thoughts and views and the achievements, and congratulations to you and the entire team.
Thank you, sir.
Gujarat CM Dashboard, Chief Minister's Office, Government of Gujarat, Mr. Manoj Kumar Das, Additional Chief Secretary. Mr. Roopwant Singh, let me go back, CMO Gujarat. Yes, we have a gentleman.
Good morning, Dr. Saab.
Good morning.
Thank you very much, Scotch Group, for selecting us. We have been working on a CM dashboard project for the last 3 years.
And if we have to say that how it has impacted the citizens in Gujarat, what have been the outcomes?
We are basically working as a, you can say, catalyst for the rest of the government system, that is government to citizens. So we are monitoring the overall system of the government processes. So for example, if you're applying for an income certificate or a caste certificate, then we make sure that the services which the citizens are asking for, it must be delivered within the stipulated time. We make sure that the citizen is getting the products within the timeline or what they are entitled to. So that's how the entire monitoring system goes. We are monitoring the projects as well. We make sure that it is implemented within the stipulated timeline. So it's basically a monitoring and control system. We are making sure that system works as per the desired.
No, it's an excellent implementation, and there are a lot of accolades which is one already are talked about the CM dashboard in Gujarat. In fact, it
Ji.
almost very much entrusted us to further study and document it. And maybe over maybe Monday or Tuesday, probably I'll get in touch with you, and we may plan a visit to see the project, firsthand and experience it. So this is very, very exciting.
It would be pleasure, sir.
All right, great. So thank you very much for joining us, and
Thank you, sir.
wish you all the best, and
you.
congratulations to you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I move on to invite Mr. Roopant Singh, Commissioner, Integrated Lease Management System, Commissioner of Geology and Mining from Government of Gujarat.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, this is PD Gadvi from Geology and Mining. Thank you for honoring us for the semi-finalist and the further round. The project we started integrated lease management system actually for the stakeholders. It was the dream of our honorable commissioner, the team, and then we did successfully completed the project in last 1 year, and we got a very good success. We rolled out in the month of May, and we got very good success for rolling out of the project. So we are once again thank you very much for the Scotch team, my team members, honorable commissioner, our additional director sir, and all the stakeholders who have helped us to complete this project.
Congratulations. I now invite Mr. Piyush Kumar Gadvi, ICT Officer and Commissioner from Geology of Mining, Government of Gujarat, Vehicle Tracking and Monitoring System. There we go.
Yeah, once again, very good morning. This is PD Gadvi. This is one of the other project that is integrated with the ILMS system, Integrated Lease Management System. This is called as a Vehicle Tracking and Monitoring System, where we monitor all the vehicles who are carrying the minerals from one place to other place. So we can track the the mineral carrying vehicles. We can see they are in time or not. So that is again integrated with the ILMS system, and we are thankful to all the team members who have helped us to complete this project. We are thanking to the Scotch team for being honored for that semi-finalist for this project. Thanks.
Congratulations to you, Piyush ji, once again.
Thank you.
Director, Employment and Training, Mr. Alok Kumar Pandey, Commissionerate of Labour, Government of Gujarat for Simple Shram Inspection, Mobile Portal for Labour and Employer. Mr. Pandey. Mr. Sanjay Kumar, Public Relations Officer, Cooperative Department, Government of Bihar, Mukhyamantri Harit Krishi Sanyatra Yojana. Mr. Kumar. Mr. Jitendra Roy, Additional Secretary from Department of Agriculture, Government of West Bengal for Bangla Shasya Bima Scheme. The next one also goes to the Department of Agriculture, Government of West Bengal for Krishak Bandhu, Mr. Jitendra Roy, Additional Secretary. Mr. DPS Kharbanda, Director, Khedo Punjab Application, Department of Sports, Government of Punjab. Mr. Kharbanda.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
First of all, I'd like to convey my special thanks to Honorable Chairman Samir Kochar Sahab and their dedicated team, our Punjab government, and the backbone of this first ever attempt by any state regarding the sports mobile app, our sports person of India and especially Punjab, and the Daily Word and my core team of the department. Sir, the state of Punjab has been a huge asset to India in its sports journey, providing legendary names like Milkha Singh, Yuvraj, Abhinav Bindra. For keeping the spark alive in the young and budding players of Punjab, sir, and to ensure and enhance the performance of the present sports artery of state, the Department of Sports Punjab has developed the first and only mobile application. Its name is Khedo Punjab. Like the motive to develop this application is to provide India with more Punjabi firepower in the area of sports by clarifying every sports related dilemma of players and coaches at their fingertips. The main crux, sir, I won't take much time, is that basically, it will be having 11 features. We register the name of a sports person. If maybe a budding player, maybe a seasoned player, he comes to know that, what he wants to play. Like he may be for example, say 100 meter athletic. His score is maybe at present is 100 meter in 13 seconds. But he will come to know that the Jacob from Jamaica, this time in Olympics, he was the fastest man on earth. He scored 9.8 seconds. Every 15 minutes, every 15 days, there's a beep message mechanism. He will come to know that I am 5 seconds away from Jacob. I am now 4 seconds away from Jacob. I am 3 seconds away from Jacob. This provides enthusiasm in the player, self-start enthusiasm, and that will have a sparkling effect. Similarly, the Neeraj Chopra, our grand gold medalist, he touched 87.58 in javelin. So our app shows, after every 15 days, that how far we are away from Neeraj Chopra. So this prepares the, bed for our budding players so that they can perform better. We can monitor the coaches, we can monitor the players, we can have the fresh budding players. So, we can monitor the diet, everything, all infrastructure is there. And, with click of mouse, a sports person comes to know where is the best coach available in the state, where should I go, what should be the fee criteria, and what is the government schemes. The government of Punjab has done marvelous job in this area of sports, and it's a special thanks to Punjab government. We have spent more than 300 crores in various infrastructure and for the upliftment of the sports person. So with this mobile app, there's enthusiasm among the players. Till date, our goal is to register 1 lakh players of Punjab, India for this sports mobile app. We had touched during about 10-15,000. It's on the growing stage, and it's available on Apple. It's available on Android. The name is Khedo Punjab. So I especially convey my thanks to the Scotch group who had awarded us the Scotch Order of Merit. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Very nice, Kharbanda Sahab. It is very heartening to hear the efforts that are being undertaken to promote sports in the state of Punjab, which anyway has been known for many other achievements as well. Rightly so. Congratulations to you and the entire team.
Thank you, sir.
From Directorate of Geology and Mining, Government of Uttar Pradesh, Dr. Roshan Jacob, Secretary and Director for Project MindGate.
Thank you. We thank the Scotch team for inviting us over into this virtual interaction.
Do we have your video?
Is that fine?
Yes, now we can see.
So the project that we have been working on, which is by name MindGate, and it's hosted on a domain known as MindMitra, mindmitra.up.gov.in. Now, the idea was to create a kind of one-stop shop for mining and an end-to-end solution for online mineral management. So it has several independent, decentralized modules, but all of which work in a coordinated fashion. Our two main aims, or the two main planes on which MindMitra works is, first as a unified platform which offers or caters to all the demands of all the services given out by the Department of Mining. whether it is to the industry, our concessionaires, or to the average public, the consumer. So all kinds of permits and permissions, leaves and licenses given out by the department are put under this one common gateway. At another level, MindMitra also functions as an integrated software which for curbing practices of illegal mining and transportation through real-time data surveillance. Now, as I said, it has several independent modules, but if we are just to quickly go through, if we are to broadly classify it into 4 different categories, one is online mineral management, in which we have all the online transit passes. We have online payment facility for our concessionaires as well as the BRICKINs. And we also have API integration with portals of other states and with MORTH, Government of India. So through that, we provide online verification facility for transit passes. We also have a departmental MIS module, which will track the life cycle of each lease from its beginning to its end. So that is one part. The second part is the public service delivery angle, in which everything like land permits, online LOI, online deeds, then and we have very popular modules like the farmer registration module, where farmers can take out self-registered permits for extraction of earth from their own lands without any kind of extortion by lower level functionaries. Again, for Krishi permits also, and even for these development projects, many times the purpose is not mining, but they want to build a school or something, but they need clearance from government. So MindMitra creates an easy facilitation for that. And it is also linked to Nivesh Mitra, which is the industry single window portal. The third component of our MindMitra project is the surveillance angle. All our mines have camera equipped weigh bridges in them, and we have RFID tags installed into all our mineral carrying vehicles. We have automated check gates on the major mineral mining routes to monitor this. And all of this is coordinated by a command center at the state level. Our leases are geo-fenced, so there is real-time live data monitoring by a technical team in our command center. And the last and the final component of MindMitra is an e-commerce platform, which we have called UP Mineral Mart, trying to create a direct interface between the purchaser and the seller, so that many times we know price volatility issues are there in mining, like there is a lot of third-party costs which get loaded on. So here, public can directly interact with their seller and book a deal, and through our online payment modes, they can pay the money and get the mineral at their doorstep. So these 4 different facets together, there are a lot of standalone good systems in mining, but I would say that the uniqueness of MindMitra is that it tries to bring together all aspects, the service, the surveillance, and the sale, all aspects connected to mining under a single roof. And by doing so, we have been trying to create a kind of improve the ease of doing business for our clients, the concessionaires, and to create a user-friendly platform for the public. And I would say just to try and create a cleaner mining ecosystem as far as possible. Thank you so much.
Well, it's heartening to note so much of work that has been done, and it just looks like, a small intervention, but look at the back end, how you have integrated, the front end as well as the back end. My congratulations to you. It must have been a Herculean task.
Yes, we have been at it from 2017. Thank you so much.
Congratulations once again, ma'am. I move on to invite Ms. Bhagyashri Banayat, Director for Maha Resham Abhiyan from Directorate of Sericulture, Government of Maharashtra. Ms. Veena Padia, Director, District Mineral Foundation, State Nodal Unit, Government of Gujarat for DMF Health Clinics, 54 mining affected villages of Lakhpat and Abdasa.
Good morning, everybody. Since ma'am is not here, so I am on her behalf to speak for the project. And to briefly tell you about the project, this is a state-of-the-art health clinic which we have established in Lakhpat and Abdasa village. These are some of the westmost points in our country. So we are providing state-of-the-art, primary healthcare services, which includes telemedicine and X-ray facilities. And this project, since it has started, it has completed, it has given service to more than 55,000 people of the mining affected areas. And we cover a population of around 55 to 60,000.
Very good. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
The next one also goes to the District Mineral Foundation State Nodal Unit, Government of Gujarat for DMF Mobile Medical Unit for Panchmahal and Dahod. Over to you.
Thank you once again. This project is actually deployment of a mobile medical unit, since establishment of a standalone clinic was not possible in this area because the communities living over here are very far from each other, and establishing a clinic would not be a correct solution. Instead, we have provided a doorstep delivery of the similar kind of primary healthcare services in a van, which also has telemedicine facilities, also has the state-of-art point of device care facilities, and we cover around 24 villages in both of these districts.
Excellent. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
From Forest Department, Government of West Bengal, Mr. Saurabh Chaudhary, Additional Principal Chief Conservator for Protection of Coastal Districts of West Bengal with Mangrove and Associate Species Plantation. Mr. Girish Kumar Vadhwa, IT Manager, Gujarat Public Service Commission for Integrated Application Scrutiny System.
Good evening, good morning, sir. I have Mr. R.J. Halani, IAS Officer, as Secretary GPSC. He will be briefing you the details, and I will be joining and updating with them.
Sure.
It is a thanks, good morning, and thanks Scotch team for selecting us for a Scotch award. We have developed a online application scrutiny system. We have a pilot project in 2018. And after pilot project, we have implemented this system in 2019. And by implementing this system, we have expedited recruitment process when we have saved manpower, as well as it has brought transparency in the system. Indirectly, it has helped us also in reducing printing. And this way, it has helped us in minimizing carbon footprint also. Right?
So about the brief project, I'll be just defining you that previously we used to manually get the applications from the aspirants, those who were selected for those who qualified for the application scrutiny. Rather than we digitalized the system, and since digitalization from the day one, since 2018, we have never got any manual applications. We are getting all the applications digitally online, and these candidates put up all the digital documents, and at the back end, we scrutinize each and every document digitally, and even the seamless digital part is that even the recommendation, that is the certificates, are to be given to the respective department. Even that we provide them online. We do not, we give them a user access password, where they can see the merit number and the documents, and with one click, they can download the PDF and they can verify with the original documents. That is how we are here. This has helped saving a lot of paper, trees, ultimately. Thank you.
Very good. A good attempt at streamlining the system while at the same time being environment friendly. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
For Mary or My Saheli, from Railway Protection Force, West Bengal, Ministry of Railways, Mr. Devendranath Bhagchand Kasar, Inspector General and Principal Chief Security Commissioner. Mr. G. Anil Kumar, Engineer in Chief for Mission Kakatiya from Irrigation and Command Area Department, Government of Telangana.
Good morning, sir. This is Ramacharlu speaking on behalf of our Engineer in Chief, Mr. G. Anil Kumar, who is not available at the moment.
Good morning.
Am I available, sir?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, we are from Irrigation Department, Government of Telangana. Since formation of Telangana as a new state, the government decided to repair and renovate and restore the several mine irrigation tanks. There are around 46,000 tanks across the state of Telangana. So it was a Herculean task to take up those mine irrigation tanks. So all around 46,000 tanks are digitized. Since from the administrative sanction to technical sanction, all our an online system was developed and online approval process developed. So administrative sanction till payment is done, including work progress is digitized. And major issue was there are several duplication of tanks available on the ground, and some tanks got encroached, and several issues are there. So we developed a mobile app with a geographic information system. So to identify whether there was a tank in the past, whether it is enclosed or whether it is completely demolished, etc. So these were captured and duplications are identified, and this system uniquely identifies a tank by geotagging. So advantage was duplication avoided, and some unnecessary repairs got this thing, and tanks got refilled by linking to the major projects. Because of this, lakhs of acres of new acre developed by spending good amount of amount, sir.
Well, congratulations to you and your entire team. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. S. Chandrasekhar, Director from Kerala State IT Mission, Computer Emergency Response Team, Kerala. Dr. Charu Singla, Mission Director from National Health Mission, UT Chandigarh, Hub and Spoke Model for Free Diagnostic Services. Ms. Devashmita Chattopadhyay Banerjee, Senior Divisional Security Commissioner from Railway Protection Force, Karnataka, Ministry of Railways, for Operation Nanne Farishte.
A very good morning, Dr. Dhanjal.
Good morning.
Thank you for selecting us. We are very grateful for being given this opportunity to talk about our project. So Operation Nanne Farishte is basically the first, Indian Railways' first anti-child trafficking operations. It was started in 2017 by our then IG, Shri D.B. Kasar. And then we envisioned the project as being one of the key intervention partners in rescuing children from railway premises. So what we understood is that there were many children who were being brought from one part of the country to the development pockets of the country for various kinds of child labor, organ trade, transport for prostitution, and many other things. So intervention at the level of an agency which is centralized, we are a armed force of the union which is present throughout the country, was very, very needed. Second thing is that whenever a child is rescued from a brick kiln or some brothel or any such industry, the child has already faced the trauma, the child has already undergone the process of exploitation. Whereas during the transportation, we do have an option when we are present in the railway stations throughout the country. So we started a pilot project in 2017 and it has now culminated to this. Operation Nanne Farishte has been able to rescue thousands of children. So first it started as a pilot in Bengaluru and southwestern zone of Indian Railways. So we rescued over 4,500 children in the first year. And now the Ministry of Railways has incorporated the project to all zonal railways. So Nanne Farishte has become a part of the system. We were very glad that we could make a systematic change, not a very piecemeal sort of a project or a leadership-based project at a particular location, but throughout the country. And we also want to say that there are, it's the 21st century, they say that Bangalore or some others, information centers or say Bombay or Delhi. So places like these where we sit in our operations or people are just there for their daily lives, we do not understand that there is a parallel economy or a parallel world going around where children are being trafficked from one place to another. They may not be from very well-off backgrounds, but they are children of this nation and we have a responsibility towards them. We believe that Nanne Farishte started as a sort of a moral responsibility project, and we have been very glad that it has been now made a part and a mandate of Railway Protection Forces duty, which was not there before. This was not a part of the mandate of RPF, And over the years, throughout the country, more than 60,000 children have been rescued from trafficking, various kinds of trafficking, organ trade, child labor, bonded labor. Even we have had got many cases of bonded labor from Bangalore. We've got many cases of children who were being made to work in battery acid factories. And recently we rescued children last month who did not have fingerprints on their hands because they were being made to work in those factories for about 18 hours in very inhuman conditions. So I feel that whenever we work at a project which is a human impact project, the most important thing which makes us very glad that we could make a systematic change, not a particular time-based change, and a sustainable change in the system. And I again thank you, Dr. Dhanjal, and the chairman of the SCOP group, Mr. Sameer Kochar, for giving us this opportunity to talk about our project and giving us this Order of Merit. Thank you.
It's amazing to hear these words because, as you rightly said, that a Railway Protection Force will not have anything like this in its mandate. So you're going out of your way. This is out of the box thinking, and also, going beyond your defined role and helping to contribute to the social development and rescuing these children who are being trafficked under different conditions and circumstances. So excellent work, and my congratulations to you and the entire team. Keep the good work on. And the way it has scaled, this is most encouraging.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Dhanjal, you are on mute, I believe.
Yes. So the next one also goes to you for Bengaluru Cyber Lab.
Yes, thank you. So this is another initiative that we had taken. We believe that technology is an enabler and it's a force multiplier. It's very much needed in any organization that believes in evolution. So Bengaluru Cyber Lab is one of the first India cyber lab, and it's a state-of-the-art cyber lab that we have created. It has got 3 components in it. One is the cyber cell. The second is the face recognition system. It's India's first railway-specific face recognition system. And the third is Railway Protection Force 1. We call it RPF1, or the Omnipresent Network Ensemble. So the first component is the cyber cell, which is essentially a cybersecurity unit for the Indian Railways. And we have inaugurated it on 15th August 2020. In 1 year, we've been able to generate around 1,200 inputs for the entire country, or all zonal railways of the country. And we have been able to crack a massive cases of cyber fraud against the e-ticketing system of Indian Railways, which was plaguing the IRCTC software. So that was one of the important breakthroughs in the cyber crime module of the Cyber Lab. In that thing, the mastermind of that particular e-ticketing software, illegal software they had created, was hiding in Dubai. He was wanted by the CBI. And after about a 6-month-long operation, we were able to get him here. We had issued the lookout notice at the immigration centers. They informed us, and we arrested him. And his properties worth about 114 crores were seized. More importantly, the illegal softwares they had created to sort of hack or sort of compromise the IRCTC e-ticketing system. So that has gone we have been able to crack that. We have been able to demolish their entire illegal, this entire cybersecurity attack. That was one component. And also we have been able to arrest more than 200 people across the nation. So apart from the cyber cell, the cyber lab has 2 more units. That is the FRS, which is the face recognition software. So this is India's first face recognition software, which is railway specific. So generally what we see is when we talk of FRS, people have to go and scan their faces for about 10 seconds and stand, which is not something which is, which can be possible in railway stations. So we did a pilot for about 9 months in 2019-20. And we ensured that even with masks. So before pre-COVID era, we were not looking at anybody covering their faces, but of course, people had many sort of face gears, change in faces, facial emotions. When the photographs were about a 20-year-old in our criminal database. So we experimented with 10 matrix points, and now we are having an operational system where even with full mask, we are being able to identify faces in the railway stations. Recently, we had a case of a specially abled lady.
Ms. Banerjee, I will interrupt you here. It's very nice to hear all these details, and some of the details have already been there in your nomination, which have been studied by us, and it's very encouraging. And we would love to, take this discussion offline with you and try and understand more. But as much time as we have at our disposal, so I thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So from Karnataka to Jharkhand, Railway Protection Force, Operation Nanne Farishte, we have Mr. Prashant Yadav, Divisional Security Commissioner.
Thank you, Scotch Group, and thank you, Dr. Dhanjal. We took this initiative from SWR to Southeastern Railway, Jharkhand, and we saw a huge opportunity where traffickers were roaming freely, taking kids and taking women from this part of the country to different part of India. And then we got huge success. We arrested almost 19 traffickers in last 8 months. We rescued around 401 kids from their clutches. And by this, we could take this forward and we could make an environment where traffickers don't go scot-free on Indian Railways. Thank you.
Very good. Congratulations to you. I think this is a fantastic project, and I'm sure there are a lot many more such similar success stories from RPF from the other states as well. We look forward. Well, thank you very much and congratulations, Mr. Yadav. Mr. R.B. Kherbhai, Administrative Officer from Social Justice and Empowerment Department, Government of Gujarat, Samaras Hostel Admission, Merit List Generation, Grievance Management, and Hostel Management System. Mr. Pawan Kumar Jain, Special DG and Director, Implementation of Bio Bubble during COVID-19 lockdown from Sports and Youth Welfare Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh. Dr. D. Chakravarti, Senior Consultant Physician from Swami Dayanand Hospital for COVID Management. Mr. Mukesh Chand Gupta, Commissioner. Do we have the Swami Dayanand Hospital with us? Yes. Dr. Chakravarti.
Very good morning, sir. Thank you very much, the Scotch Group, for selecting our hospital for the COVID management in this dire hours of in the month of April and May, in the second wave of COVID, when things were absolutely haywire and people are searching for one oxygen bed, and in an overnight notice of only 12 hours, we converted our hospital, which is a non-COVID hospital, to a COVID hospital, 70 bedded. And our efforts were put forth, because managing everything in one consequence, it becomes a big issue, because we don't have experience of handling COVID cases in the past, because our hospital in first wave, it was a non-COVID hospital. So converting a non-COVID to a COVID with a overnight decisions, and working with a absolutely fabulous recovery rate, because we are supposed to do only moderate cases of COVID. But the issue comes then when patients are landing with a very severe illness with a SpO2 falling to 70%. So all cases become severe COVID, and we managed very well, and we have an excellent recovery rate, and our efforts are put forward with the entire team. I was leading the clinical team, but it was put forth by all our colleagues and our residents who did really sincere efforts to think on a right track.
Congratulations, Dr. Saab, and it's been a great service to the humanity, and I know how difficult it has been for the entire medical fraternity to handle it and fight it from the front. So congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Mukesh Chandra Gupta, Commissioner from Technical Education, Government of Madhya Pradesh for online e-admission portal. Ms. Nandini Chakravarti, Principal Secretary, Tourism Department, Government of West Bengal for transformational performance during COVID. Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am. Yes, you are.
A very good morning, Dr. Ranjan and the Scotch team. On behalf of the Tourism Department, Government of West Bengal, and on behalf of my Principal Secretary, Mrs. Nandini Chakraborty, I accept this Scotch Order of Merit, and I express my gratefulness to all the team members of Scotch. Well, you know that West Bengal has immense tourism potential, and due to its geographical position and natural beauty. But as we all know that since last year, COVID-19 pandemic has hit the industry very adversely, and we faced a lot of challenges. So to combat these challenges and to revive the sector, am I audible, Mr.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
We have the Department of Tourism, Government of West Bengal has come up with a number of interventions as a response to COVID-19. And some of them were like a preparation of SOP for all the stakeholders, like hoteliers, like travel and tour operators, or other service providers.
Shantanu, in fact, you know, I would request you to save your arguments in support of the department and the efforts that you have done for our next session, where you will be having a chance to speak. So, as far as order of merit is concerned, I think this many details are good enough for us. Well, thank you very much for standing in for.
Once again, thank you very much for bestowing this award to us. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I move on to invite Mr. Onkar Singh Meena, Secretary, Department of Agriculture, Government of West Bengal for Bangla Krishi Sech Yojana. Mr. Meena? Can we have Mr. Meena online? Scotch team, can you spotlight him, please? Well, we move on to the next. Mr. Arvind Agarwal, Director, Ghare Ghare Arunima Integrated Child Development Services from Women and Child Development Department, Government of Odisha.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for selecting us for this HSM finalist Scotch Order of Merit. This Ghare Ghare Arunima is basically a concept of bringing Anganwadi centers to every houses. And this concept was introduced during the lockdown due to the pandemic. And like young children from the age group of 3 to 6 who are not coming to the Anganwadi centers due to closure, their development and their learnings are being affected badly. So in order to save them from this pandemic, which is not a health related but a development related issue. So we developed this idea of making Anganwadi center at each home, and through their parents, their grandparents, the community members, so that the growth of children should not be affected due to pandemic.
Sure.
We'll be telling more about this on.
Absolutely, we would love to learn more on your efforts and much more going beyond just the implementation of single project. But yes, we'll have an opportunity. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Agarwal, and congratulations to you. The next one also goes to you for Child Marriage Free Village Initiative through Nirbhaya Kadhi.
So, in fact, this is an initiative campaign started by the state to prevent child marriages in the state. When we talk about child marriages, the Odisha does not come in the list like some other states like Rajasthan and have a very prominent problem of child marriages. But we found that in tribal pockets also the child marriage has been very prominent in few of the districts. Almost 30%, more than 30% marriages were child marriages at one point of time. So we started this campaign to ensure that not a single child marriage will happen in the state. So as a pilot project, we started with the help of District Administration of Ganjam we initiated this project where social mobilization, community participation, and particularly involvement of adolescent girls and boys into the entire process of prevention of child marriage. And it has given us a very good success. Till now, we have made, we received promises and commitment from more than 10,000 villages where they have given us the commitment, and in fact, they are also ensuring that not a single child marriage will happen in their respective areas. So it has created a new buzz in the society. The people are also talking about prevention of child marriages. So we are hopeful that it will help adolescents from the evils of child marriages.
The last one in the morning announcement of Scotch Orders of Merit goes once again to Mr. Agarwal for Vatsalya, a parent-led, home-based early stimulation program for ICDS.
Thank you. Basically, this program is based on one principle that the 80% of a child's brain is developed within the first 2 years of the age. And all our government schemes or supports or early education are mainly starts from age group of 3, when more than 80% child is already developed. So basically, during this initial 2 years of a child's age, the learning is mainly through their family, and we always say that mother is the first teacher of that of a child. So just to use this principle and the first 3 years of interaction with the family and the community, we initiated, we conceptualized this idea of involving parents, giving them information, their capacity building, to make them understand the importance of touch and play with the children, and also how to ensure that the cognitive skill, psychosocial skills, and communication skills are developed. So once we address the development issues at the initial 3 years of a child's life, definitely the child will grow better, and the investment in this phase is having a highest return. So this initiative has definitely become a priority of the state, and we are hopeful that it will make our children more brighter. Thank you.
Congratulations once again, and we will have an opportunity to interact you further in our next session. Thank you very much for joining us. And with this, we come to the end of the first round of announcement of Scotch Orders of Merit. Ladies and gentlemen,